Good morning. Good morning. I think we're live. I don't know, man. This is an impromptu live this morning, dude. Very much impromptu live. What's going on? If you're there, if you're here, if you're here, if you're there, let me know. Get the chats up. See what happens on this first 5-minute candle. Oh, what's going on, peoples? Morning, Will. Morning, Tom. What's going on? Can you guys hear me okay? Buddha in the building. What's going on, peoples? Can y'all hear me okay over there? Not sure. I got all kinds of chaos going on over here this morning. Ha! No. Hold on. I'm working here. I'm working here. Okay, I think that's everything. Nice and fine. Appreciate it, fellas. What's going on, man? Dude, this is a straight up impromptu live this morning. I had a rough late Saturday night. I don't know if you guys seen the video I dropped on Tesla Rideshare channel yesterday, and I wanted to keep going Saturday night and Sunday, but man, I just was not feeling. Got exhausted, tired. The nerve damage in my shoulder. I didn't know what. Anyway, long story short, just getting my legs up under me today, but I did manage to get that video dropped yesterday. It's doing well. I think we found something with that channel that people are interested in. So, but I wanted to come say what's up, y'all. Plus, working a new little setup here. It's fucking expensive setup. I'm going to be paying for this for the next, I don't know, umpteen years, but it had to be done. You have to invest in yourself, and I figured that's what we could talk about today. Investing in yourself, man. We don't do that enough. I wanted to what? Oh my God, Buddha, don't start. See, here we go. Here's Buddha, right? Buddha's got to start this morning. Oh my God. Did I make a grok? Did I have a grok moment, bro? Was that a grok moment? Ha! I just wanted to come and hang out. Is that better? Hang out with you guys. You know, I got a text message. I got a text message from somebody yesterday that said they really enjoyed the new format for the Wednesday Night Live podcast. And you know, the fact that it's not so focused on the toxicity of the gig apps, you know. And you know, that's a good thing, because I think the second half of last year it was getting bad, man. Like, dude, like when's the last time you heard anything positive, like really positive, out of the gig app community? And not just for, you know, maybe a city or a specific state, but I mean, as a general rule, overall, when's the last time you heard anything positive out of it? And I got to tell you, I can't come up with an answer. I can't. So anyway, here we are. We're working on a new eval. I started this eval yesterday, man. You know, the last 2 or 3 months ending 2025, I started putting a lot more pressure on myself for these evals. I've been funded several times, blew the accounts, because you get to chasing, you get to rushing, and your risk. My risk I started taking too big of a risk instead of sometimes just backing off and taking a base hit. So, and I can't lie, man, I was working a lot of different strategies, you know, just trying to really get an idea of what works and what doesn't work. And the biggest thing I found for me, with trading the markets, whether I'm over here trading SPY options or Tesla options, which I haven't done any Tesla options yet. I've been paper trading some SPY options to get a hang of it because I've done well. I've done very well in the options market. But I walked away from it because, a lot of things changed a couple years ago. Y'all that have been around, you know the deal. So here we are chasing prop firm evals. But the beautiful thing about the prop firm evals is it's a small investment financially. Is it hard? Is it difficult? Fuck yeah, it's hard. Hell yeah, it's difficult. They make it difficult. They make it difficult because in the grand scheme of things, they know the human psyche isn't built to be as disciplined, as it should be. In other words, remember when we were kids and we'd go in the kitchen and mom or dad just cooked up a big ass meal and you walk in there and you fill that plate up, man. You got that plate filled up and it's a big plate. My mom used to tell me, you're gonna eat all of that because your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And you used to laugh. You're like, yeah, I can eat it. Well, it's the same thing with trading because you never did finish. Your eyes get big. You get these dopamine hits when you have a good trade, and you get these anger management issues when you have a bad trade. There was a trade here, right? You see my line, this green line here. So this blue dotted line is my previous end of day, right? We had CPI here at 8:30. What I was looking for was a solid 5-minute candle close above is 25,980. Okay, which we got just now. But I was running my mouth so much that but at the same time, all this really did was just form a fair value gap here. So if we bring this in like this, right? And I know I'm going to be all over the place a little bit, but on the 5-minute orb, this would have been a good place to maybe get into this trade. Let's see. We broke above, came back below. There's the 5-minute. There's the fair value gap right here. Right. We got our lower wick. We got our gap here. We got our higher wick. So technically, if we were going to trade the orb right now, technically, we'd be setting up for a trade right here to go higher based off CPI news that hit at 8:30. So if we brought this down to here, bottom of that candle, we'd be looking for a 2-to-1. Why is it not giving me my 2-to-1? Hold on a minute. Something ain't right here. Oh, that's why. Bastard. Yep. This should be down here. Should be right there. Now we should see our 2-to-1. So technically, we'd be looking for this trade right here, right? If we set this up, let's say we'll just take one little micro, which it's a $60. It's a $60 risk for a $121 gain, but it would have to come back into this and then fire right back up. So we'll leave that trade up there for now. We'll see if it happens. See if that happens. Is there a way to learn without putting money? Yes, there is. It's called paper trading, and a lot of people, they tend to want to look down on paper trading, but it's a way to just in the beginning, and to be honest, I think even now, it's about the process. I think too many people put the emphasis on the money and they don't put the emphasis on learning the process, right? It's the process. Like if this, then this, if A, then B. It has to be mechanical. See, this is a mechanical trade. It's set up, it's textbook. We'll see if we reject here. If we do, we'll take the trade. If not, see, now we didn't take that trade. This is why I don't set up the trade and actually put it in there, because that would have just stopped us. That would have just stopped us right out. Bunch of bears just stepped in. Long stops just got caught and squeezed down. So this trade is invalid. It's very difficult to trade I think, the first 15 minutes of the market is because there's so much manipulation. You don't know if it's smart money, i.e., institutional money. If it's retail, you just don't know. So a lot of times, I'll use a 15-minute orb, which, let's see, what time is it? It's going to end in a minute. So all of this for me, the green lines, red lines are invalid. We're going to get rid of that because we're moving into a different type of trading. But Buddha, to answer your question, it's the process, in my opinion. It's the process. It's like learning how to drive, right? And I'll break it down into the rideshare game. Before you could even, well, let me rephrase. Before you're supposed to learn how to take people for rides, you got to learn how to drive. There's a process of learning how to drive. You got to learn how to open the door. You got to learn how to get in the car. You got to learn how to turn the key on. You got to learn how to put it in the gear, whether it's reverse or drive. You got to learn how to pull off. You got to learn when you come to a stop sign, make a complete stop. It's a process to this shit. And I hate it when people say, well, rideshare is a low barrier of entry. Well, maybe for an illegal motherfucker, but not for a good driver. Being a driver is not, or working the gig apps, it's not an unskilled thing. I see everybody blows the fucking skill part out, the process out. And so, Buddha, to answer your question, you have to learn the process. And the best way to learn the process is to paper trade. Well, people say, well, there's no emotion in paper trade. There shouldn't be any emotion at all in trading. You want to call it even, you want to call it fair. There's not supposed to be any emotion. Keep it mechanical. If this, then this. If this, then this. And from what I'm seeing, and from when I was trading options 2-3 years ago, that was the best thing. No matter what. Listen, if you go to a casino and you take $100 with you to go play some penny slots, you've already decided that money is spent. It's gone. You're willing to risk it and lose it. So from the money aspect of it to tie into the emotional level of it, you've already invested capital into a trade. So, it's done. But if you don't have a process, a strategy, and there's a shit ton of strategies out there. 10 o'clock, we're going to move into what we call the ICT silver bullet. Right now, we're on a 15-minute orb, which after the first year of messing around with these futures markets, those are the kind of strategies I want to trade. I want to trade the 15-minute orb, which is opening range breakout, which we don't have here. Like you guys just saw, that trade, this candle right here, would have took us completely out of this trade, right? It was hunting stops. And here's the thing. By definition, this line right here, let's make it blue, all right? This line right here would have been the bottom of this fair value gap. So we would have had our trade in right here and our stop loss at this bottom. But look what the market did. It came down, it wicked. Quite a few points. Let's see where I marked that. Let's see. Right, so our stop loss would have been at 968. It wicked down all the way to 961 and a quarter. Cleared all that out, and you guys saw it. It was like that. So that trade would be dead. You take the loss and you move on. It's mechanical. But this is why I don't put a buy order in until I see what this candle that's coming back to retest this imbalance, this fair value gap. Until I see what it wants to do with this first candle here, I'm not in the trade. I would rather preserve capital, follow my process, and wait for the next trade. It's a volatile morning already, right? Our opening range, let's see, we opened up at 25,930 as a low, and we're at 26,053. So we have, what's that, 100 points? Let's see. So we have an opening range of 110 points. That's a shit ton of that. Now for NASDAQ, that's not a big deal, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're trading 10-point stop losses or 20-point stop losses. 110-point range is huge. It's not tight. So we've got some volatility a little bit. Not a lot. You look at your volume candles down here, right? You got that first big candle on the open, and then you got that monster red candle right here. The volume just spiked. But as a whole, I mean, volume is kind of like right in this range somewhere. We'll say right here. See if I can bring that down. The volume's like right in that range, right? This is going to move. You can see how that'll move on the chart, but that's about the right range. So for me, I would rather sit here and wait to see if it's going to break above the swing high of the morning or the low of the swing high of the morning. But right now, we're in no man's land. This is a no trade zone. This is where you just sit and wait. It ain't no different than my rideshare homies out there, you know, at the airport waiting 2 hours on a $20 ride. What's the difference? The difference is I can get up and go take a piss in my own bathroom. I go make something to eat. I can do what I got. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's see. Let me catch up with some of these comments. Damn, that would have hurt if you put up money. You got to understand you're going to lose. You're going to lose trades. There's no such thing as 100% winner unless you take one trade and you're done. And you happen to be successful in that trade. There's no 100% traders. Most traders, I mean, depending on who you listen to, they say most traders win percentage is around 30 to 40%. So that means 6 out of every 10 trades they take, they lose. But because of the process, because of risk management, stop loss, they might only lose 10 points on every trade. But if they're doing a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 on a winner, you know, you're winning 20, you're risking 10 to win 20, 2-to-1. So it's just how you gotta be aware of it. I said that in one of my shorts that you have to trust the process. Thomas, I believe that's with everything, right? Absolutely everything you have to trust the process. Everything. You have to learn the process, and then you have to trust the process. You know? Let's see, Buddha. What would you say your strategy, Vinny, is as good win-lose ratio per se? Well, obviously, it's I'm losing more than I'm winning, right? With the futures, because I've been jumping around from strategy to strategy to strategy to strategy. And the other thing too is, and this is important, dude. I've said this multiple times. It's very important. In my opinion, for me, trading is personal. Trading is extremely personal because it's what your mind's eye sees. And what I mean by that is your experience, right? Let's take a horror movie, right? You see a horror movie. And I used to love the Friday the 13th movies, right? And because you always knew in these damn movies, horror movies, that somebody's going to hear that sound. They're in a dark house or in the woods some goddamn where. And they just watched 3 of their friends go in the woods and come back chopped up. They're all dead. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I don't know about you, but if I just saw 3 people walk into a house and didn't come out, and all I heard were screams, and I knew they got chopped up, the fuck am I walking in that house for? That's experience. Right? Your mind's eye. Well, I just saw these 3 dummies going there. And it's the same thing with trading. It's the same thing with driving. If you go to a concert, after a concert, right? And let's just say you've gone to 3 concerts in a row. And you've had to wait an hour to 2 hours for the concert to end because you need to stage. You want to be close. You're trying to get that good ride, that big ride. But all 3 concerts, you wasted 2 hours just to get a $50 ride. So now the ride takes a half hour, plus the 2-hour prep time to wait there, plus the half hour to get the car clean, everything squared away, yada, yada, yada. You're 3 hours into a $50 ride. That's not good money, bro. You say, well, I made $50 in 30 minutes. No, you didn't. You made $50 in 3 hours. So my point to that is, same thing with trading. You know, there are going to be times, well, you know what? I lost my train of thought. God damn it, Buddha. Oh, the strategy. So you learn on that fourth concert not to go back to that concert. What do I always say? If you guys in the rideshare, in the rideshare community, what do I always say? When the crowd goes left, I go right. Every freaking time. When the crowd goes left, I go right. It's not a political statement, although when the crowd goes left, I go right. The point is that while everybody's over here waiting on that one big ride, they're waiting on it, bro. I ain't waiting on it. I'm over here getting my money. I'm getting my money. Do I have to do a few more rides? Yeah, maybe. But while y'all are all over here, you're creating demand over here. And when you create that demand, now we start to create surge. Start to create surge. Now all of a sudden, you made $50 in 3 hours, and I just made, $200 in 3 hours. It's just the way it is. Did it cost me more mileage? Did it cost me a little more, juice in the EV? Yeah. So it just fucking, 6 times your money in the same amount of hours. And that's my point. So strategy in the markets is what you develop, your edge, what your mind sees, the experience, based on you trading, your processes that you learn. It's like anything else. The more you invest into it, and in this case, you have to invest time. You have to invest time. Listen, at the end of the day, bro, we all got 2 options. We can be complacent and stay stuck where we're at and continue to complain and whine and moan and bitch and yada, 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 and fall into that toxicity of whatever that is, right? Some people, what was the movie Con Air? Remember Con Air? When Steve Buscemi, they're on the plane, Nicolas Cage tells him he's crazy, and he says, no, crazy is the fact. Crazy is going and work into a cubicle for 40 years, same thing every day, just to collect a gold watch and die. Well, yeah. Right? My life wasn't meant to be spent in a car for most of it, or in a cubicle for most of it. Life was meant to be lived. And we live in a world where, you got to have money to have freedom. So if you don't invest time into whatever it is you're trying to learn, well, what the hell are you doing? Are you really living? Now, that's not, and I know I'm a little preachy here this morning. I apologize, but we ain't done a live, and I haven't done a morning live with you guys in a couple, 3-4 weeks, whatever it is. So, because my computer was screwing up, right? And I had to make a very difficult. It was a difficult decision. I had to get a new computer. And let me tell you, when we ran the live last Wednesday night, off the clock, which that's the way we're going with our Wednesday night lives now. Off the clock is, listen, we can talk about rideshare. I don't give a shit. But we are pushing beyond. And all we got is each other. All we got is each other. Nobody gives a shit about us. Nobody cares. We're just pawns in their game, bro. So, and what I mean by that is, and I know it's going to sound like I'm taking a poke and a swing. I'm not. I'm not taking a poke and a swing at anybody. But if the only reason you give a shit about me watching something that you do is because I'm a click and a view, you don't give a shit about me. If the only reason your conversations with me is because of things that you want to do, then you don't give a shit about me. I'm a click and a view. I'm no different than an Instagram model who shows her ass on Instagram, right? Or on Twitter, right? And then when you go to check out their profile or whatever, it's a link to OnlyFans because they want us, they want us to pay to see their toes. Like, what the fuck? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. So the point is, coming all the way back to Buddha, you can paper trade to start to learn. And this shit, you will not learn this overnight. So you have to dedicate time. It's not about money directly. Don't worry about how you get into the markets. Whether you take $50 and you buy Tesla, or you take $50 and you buy SPY, right? You take $50, you buy Apple, Nvidia, whatever. That's fine. You can do that. That's investing. But I agree with something Sergio said. Stocks are meant to be traded. The market is meant to be traded, right? That's what it's built on. It's built on people like you and me, us, the peasants against the kings, the institutions, right? That's the battle. If you don't put in the time to learn how to fight, well, then you're going to get punked. You're going to lose money. Might as well just stay driving rideshare. And whatever the apps decide to do to you or do with you, right? Then that's on you. You don't invest into your skill set, into your mental skill set, and here's the other thing. You don't have to tell anybody what you're doing, bro. Like, it really don't matter. 9:59. All right, we are going to head into the silver bullet real quick, right? So it is 10 o'clock. I'm going to bring up this here because now everything changes. So we have a swing high and we have a swing low. This is a silver bullet. This is based on the ICT, inner circle trading concepts. I kind of like this. So what we're going to look for, and I know I'm all over the place, but listen, if I do more lives, this is what I do. This is how I trade. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but this is how I trade. What we're looking for now is we're going to look for this to break either below this swing low here, right? Or break above the swing high here. This is too tight, this little area here, which could be a swing high, swing low area. But we're not doing that today. I don't like what I'm seeing in the markets. Obviously, it's not making a hill of beans to me, but I want to see it swing below here, reject and fire back up, form a fair value gap, or break high, reject, come back into the area, create a fair value gap. We'll take a trade in there. Yeah, I don't like. Let's see what happens at the swing low, because it double tapped and took off, but it didn't break through. If it breaks through this to the downside, it should break through here to the downside and give us a little more confirmation. If not, then we got to see what happens. Man, I am so sorry, bro. I did not mean to get off onto this preachy shit. You know, I give a shit because most of my life I have been in service to others. And what I mean by that is, 20 plus year union man, right? In service to others. We created a whole apprenticeship program for the trade show industry that did not exist, in service to others. The military, in service to others. My first business, real business venture, bowling, pro shops, in service to others. And one of the things that I've learned is to a point, I know you guys have heard this before, the more you give people what they need, the more you need will come to pass. I don't exactly agree with that. All right, here we go. What are we doing here? So now we want to see if this fires back up and goes up. If it doesn't, if this keeps dropping, I don't have a trade. I might not take a trade this morning. So we got to wait and see. What was it? 10 o'clock news just hit. What was the 10 o'clock news? I don't even know what the 10 o'clock news was. Was there 10 o'clock news? Where is it at? Notifications, community, blah, 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 blah. It's a place on here I'm supposed to be able to go on. Oh, there. No, is that it? Is that the news flow? Let's see. Cooler than expected CPI, core CPI. Yeah, well, we knew that. All right, so we're going to wait and see what happens here. I see that little red spot. This indicator created that fair value gap for me, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something to go back up. Oh, anyway, let's see. Let me catch up with some of these questions. We need to invest 10,000 hours into investing ASAP. Listen, some people, bro, Buddha, there are people out there, dude, that the minute they sit down in front of a chart, it fucking clicks. They got it. They got it. And then there's other people that sit down and look at a chart every single day and can't figure it out to save their life. It's the matrix of the mind, man. You just never, ever know. All right, we're going to get this one out of here. Don't need that. Let's see what's going to happen here. Let's see what else. Off the Clock was one of the best live shows on YouTube. Hey, Josh, man, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. You know, I think it, how can I say this without being all sappy and shit? As drivers, as men, and I'm not discounting the women, but if a woman needs to talk, bro, she can always go find somebody to talk to. Right or wrong? Right? Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens here. But as men, we don't have that, dude. Like, we don't have that bullshit. We don't have that comfort zone to go hang out and have that conversation. And in the rideshare space, all the rideshare YouTube channels, you know, first of all, let's get it straight. Not a fucking one of them. Not one of them talked about pivoting and moving out of rideshare until we started doing it. And I'm going to stand on that bullshit. So to hell with that shit. But the point is that, you know, the majority always want to show you the good side of the rideshare game or of the gig hustles or whatever. They, you know, it's temporary thing, bro. Temporary thing. So, you know, when, like I said in the beginning of this live stream, the whole goal was to create a place. And if I got to be the person to create these questions and push everybody else, whether it's the panel or in the chat, then that's what I'm going to do, dog. That's what I'm going to do. All right, we're going to have an opportunity here. We got 8 seconds left on this candle. We're going to have to act fast here, I think, if we're going to catch this. I don't know who the hell keeps texting me, but I'm not trying to hear it. So we're going to wait to see this, if this fair value gap forms up here. Let me open this up so you guys can see a little better. Let's see what this candle does. Now, I could close this inefficiency, which it just did. It just closed it down. So no fair value gap, no trade set up yet. Again, patience, right? The market's been open 36 minutes, and I'm waiting, bro. I'm not taking no trades, unnecessary trades. That's just the way it is. We got something else forming up here, which I normally don't do, but I'm always aware of, right? We got a downtrend coming here. So now another thing we need, right? Another thing we're going to need here is we're going to need to break above this trend line, form that fair value gap to keep trying to get back up, sweep up this liquidity here. Because all this did right now was just sweep out all this liquidity. You see, all this shit did was just come back here to this liquidity. Bam. So let's see what happens. We'll draw that trend line back in. I don't need it right now. No, but we got to wait for a fair value gap. We don't have it. Look at that long tail, bro. Sellers tried to sell it down. Buyers bought it right back up. But at some point, obviously right now, from the high of day, bears are in control. Sellers are in control. Not enough buyers yet. And to be honest, with all the news, like, CPI was good this morning. You know, if you're a bull, CPI was great for you. But that don't mean shit. Anyway, back to Off the Clock, which we'll be back tomorrow. I'm just trying. We listen. I just want to put stuff out there and get people to think a little more. I'm not asking you to go deep. I'm not saying you need to go see a psychotherapist. I'm just saying, don't you want more? It's okay to enjoy doing. Dude, I enjoy rideshare. But if it don't make money, it don't make sense. And that's just the reality of it. I'm not a fucking socialist. I'm telling you, I'm not a fucking socialist. I don't do shit when it comes to my finances. I'm not going to spend money for the benefit of others, of the community, that when the community don't give a flying fuck about me. Like, that's stupid. Right? Charity begins at home. There's a reason why charity begins at home. So anyway, that's the thing there. Let's see. I said this a long time ago. I found my tribe and I'm staying with you guys. Big Tom, we appreciate it, bro. We are each other's vibe and tribe. Because listen, bro, we're all in the same fucking hole. If you're doing rideshare, oh, excuse me, I got gas, guys. I've been having gas for like 3 days now. If you're doing rideshare, you need the money. Like, tell me somebody who does rideshare that doesn't need the money. What? Guys that are fully retired? They don't need the money? Then why the fuck are you doing it? Don't give me some bullshit about, this, that, and the other. Oh, I feel the need to. Bullshit. If you're doing rideshare, you need the money. If you don't need the money, then you need the community, right? You need the community because that means then you got some lonely shit going on. And then in that case, you might need a psychotherapist. So, Antonio, rideshare garage. Nah, bro, the garage is dead. The garage is dead, bro. That has ran its course. Let's see. One did and broke free, and it was a female. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, so, CEO driver, I remember her out of Atlanta. I spoke to her. I can't remember her name right now, but I've spoken to her a couple of times. And we were talking about these things. And she was using the gig apps to build her future. See, she came in with the right idea. But only about 90, let me rephrase. Only about 5% of people understand that concept or are in a position to move like she did, right? So if you come into rideshare or you pick up a part-time gig, it's usually because you got bills to pay and you're not making enough on your main job or your main hustle or whatever it is. So when she came in, she knew, okay, yeah, I need to get this money, but from the jump, she was like, yep, I'm going to do this and I'm getting the hell up out of here. Remember, she had the nice apartment with the plants and all of that stuff, and she was doing the ebooks. Eddie will tell you, right? She got Eddie to do his ebook, his $5 ebook. And so I remember her. I respect her. I spoke to her a couple of times. It's a sweetheart, man. She got the fuck out. She found it. She didn't wait. And she took everybody along for the ride. Well, that's what we're doing. But the big thing is you got to commit to it. And I'm going to take that all the way back to Buddha's original question. If you don't learn the process, and part of that process is committing to yourself that I'm going to do this. You have to commit to it, that I'm going to do this. Regardless, as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to do this. Whether it's trading, whether it's making YouTube videos, like all of that process means something. But if you don't commit to it, a lot of y'all don't know I used to smoke. I smoked from 16 years old all through high school, military. I smoked until April 5th of 2015. So you're looking 1984 to 2015. It's a lot of years of smoking, bro. Smoke cigarettes, Newport box, right? It wasn't until I was ready to quit that I quit. It wasn't until I made that goddamn decision. That's it. I'm done with this shit. Now, did I go cold turkey? Hell no. I started vaping. But when I finally found the flavor that satisfied that urge, I quit. And here's the thing that I learned from that whole process. They say that nicotine is addictive. I was off the nicotine in a month. Completely off nicotine in a month. Not because I had such great willpower, but because when I started to vape, I was with this high nicotine content in the juice. And then after 2 weeks, I went to go see my guy, Alan, over at Vapor Buy here in Sunrise. I said, hey, man, my throat's getting real scratchy. What the hell? He says, oh, that's the nicotine. Let's chop you down. So they took me from where I was, 12, 18, whatever the fuck it was, You guys in the vape world, you know what I'm talking about. Took me all the way down to 3. And then 2 weeks after that, I walked into a shop. I was like, bro, I don't need the nicotine at all. I'm good. Didn't have a craving for a cigarette. Didn't have a craving for any of that. I vaped, pure juice, was good to go. Now, everybody can say, well, Vinny, vaping ain't good for you either. Well, in life, you pick the lesser of the evils, right? I know that the air in California sucks, and I know that the air in Florida sucks, but the air in Florida is a shit ton better than the air in California, so guess where I'm living? In Florida. I'm just using that as an example to get under Buddha's skin. You pick the lesser of the evils. It's real easy to say, oh, well, if it's so good for you, just quit. Well, you can't. Same thing with ride shares, same thing with people going to work every day, grinding it out, and they got the micromanagers on top of them trying to pressure them to do this and trying to get them to do that and this, that, and the other. And you're just like, well, fuck. It's a lot of pressure, man. Peasants do not have good lives, at least financially. It's not until we make that commitment to get the fuck out and learn skills to help get you out. And that shit ain't overnight, bro. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, but the bitch got built. It got built. It didn't get built, or you don't learn skills by, listening to somebody on YouTube and say, well, hey, just do what I do and you'll be okay. Because what happens if I'm not here? Or what happens if that person that I'm following isn't there? Or maybe, just maybe, the way they see things isn't the way you see things. And you can't vibe like that. You guys can be cordial. You can be friends, but you just don't vibe. The vibe isn't there. You're coming at the same goal from two different directions. And listen, the older you get, the more stubborn you get. So I'm just saying. Let's catch up with some shit here. Where's a good place to start learning how to day trade? Bro, that is the $100 million question. I don't know if there's a good place to start learning. I really don't. I don't know. You know what? Pick somebody and don't let them sell you nothing. Just pick somebody and just watch as much content as you can. They call it YouTube University for a reason. But I will tell you this. And if this doesn't work out, what I'm working on here, if this doesn't work out, I'll give you a quick rundown. I used to have a couple of videos up. There was a time I wanted to create a trading channel, but in basic trading, I was fine. But when it started coming into some of this complex shit, it's like I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So I took it all down. But there are two basic rules of thumb, in my opinion, for trading. You need to know support, resistance, and you need to know trends. If you know support and resistance, and you understand trends, trend lines, direction, you can do okay. But we'll get into that. Well, see, that's the whole thing. And I'm going to jump down here to this comment real quick. Josh, not me, dog. Like, look, I'll put down in the box where, you look at the box, not financial advice, but have a coffee anyway. Notice it says have a coffee anyway. It doesn't say buy me a coffee, So one thing we don't do. Everybody wants to sell a course on everything. And us as consumers, individuals, you better look at that full body of work, right? You got to look at the whole body of work. What are they proving? Why should I give you my money? Prove to me I should give you my money. I'm just not going to blindly follow somebody and give them money because they say, oh, yeah, I've done this and I've done that, and this is what we're going to do, and look, here's the proof, and blah, blah, blah. That's not teaching me dick. You're not teaching me anything. And you're saying, well, you want me to pay you first to learn when you can't even teach me what basic supply and demand lines are or trend lines are? You know what, Josh? I got a really good, you know what? I just thought about somebody I want you to go follow. And I'm going to go find her. I'm going to go find her YouTube channel for you. And I'm going to tell you why. And she does have a course. Look at this, just breaking down, guys. Let's get up here into the 15-minute chart real quick. So I just want to see where our stops are going to be. Okay, so this can rip down. Like I said, my strategy is not working today. So notice I didn't take a trade. I'm preserving capital for right now. But this could rip all the way down here. And then yesterday's run up is over here. See this way over here? So we could get a return to this area here and then bounce up. We don't know. We don't know. Anything is possible. So let's see what happens. But we're creating more swing lows. So as we create these swing lows now start to drop down. See, and it's just coming down this trend line. Now, I could have, just to be fair, I could have gotten in, let's see. So there was a fair value gap here. No, that got chopped up. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. This is all on the 1-minute chart. There's a fair value gap way down here, right? Because I use fair value gaps, imbalances. So one forming up here, and I could keep trying to come down, bring everything back up all the way down into this 846, which look, that's a 30-point number. 30 points, 3 contracts, $2 a point, 30, 60, be about $180 trade. I could get into a $180 trade right here, right? But here's the problem. If it's not part of my strategy, I'm not going to fucking trade it. Again, process. It's process. People will say, well, Vinny, you know, what the hell? You could have got in up here and went way down. Well, yeah, I could have. But find me an entry. Right? The first presented entry right now is right here. That's the first entry. Right here. So if you don't stick to your process, whatever that is, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying this is the first presented area for me to get in a trade. How many people got chopped up in these wicks? You see these wicks? These wicks are huge. Here, let me show you something. You guys got to understand process, man. So let's go from here to here. That's a 27-point wick. Okay. Here we go. This wick right here. It's a 20-point wick. If you're using 10-point stops, you're getting the shit chop. You're in chop zone. 12-point wick. Wicks matter. 23-point. You guys understand what I'm saying? This is the first presented zone, not within my strategy to take a trade. Was be right here. And it's still not a trade there. It's still not a trade because it has to come back in, wick into this box, and then reject. And it's still got 2.5 minutes left on this candle. So anyway, I'm preaching, man. I'm sorry, guys. And I almost didn't do this live stream, man. This live stream was absolute. Okay, so let's get back over here. Monk. Well, you say Monk doesn't need the money. Well, he needs something because he's always on that group, Buddha. He's always in that group. And he's always got something slick to say. So he needs something. Maybe he needs, maybe he needs validation. Right? Maybe that's what he needs. He's got the coffee business. I still haven't tried his coffee, bro. I got to try his coffee. But, whatever. Let's see, Josh, like beginner day trading info. Oh, I'm going to get you that. Let me go find her thing now. And look, a lot of people are going to say, Vinny, don't do this, but I'm going to do it, bro. Because if you just watch what she does, okay? A lot of people, bro, in the trading community do not like her. They do not like her. I don't know why. She trades trend lines. That's her trading. And she has made a shit ton of money trading trend lines. A shit ton. So I'm going to give you her channel. Right? I'll give you her channel. And you do with it what you will. But it should be popping up now. Right? There it is. Tori Trades. Just check her out. There ain't nothing wrong with trendline trading, bro. It's simple. Oh, man, sorry about the gas. I don't know if y'all are hearing it, but if you are, hey, it's natural. The more you fart, good for your heart. Remember, what was it? Beans, they make you fart. The more you eat them, they're good for your heart. Some shit like that. Anyway, Tori Trades. She's a trendline trader. That's what she does. So as a rule, here, let me get rid of some of this shit. Because what time is it? It's 10:24. Well, I mean, let me just get rid of some of this shit real quick. I want to show you guys something real quick. This is a trend line. Actually, you know what? How can I do this? Because I don't want to. Well, this doesn't matter anymore. This is done. This swing low is done. This is done. Right? And now we're breaking down into this big fair value gap. Let's get back on the 15 there. You see it, guys. Right? Big 15 dipping into this area. Now, let me tell you, if it rejects and reverses off this area, it's a good possibility we'll take a trade. Because it never came back yesterday, overnight. It never came back to close this. Now, will it close this imbalance? Most times it does. So we got to sit here and we got to watch to see what it does. But the point is, let's get back to the trend real quick. Okay? Even though we're just now getting, there's no entry there. There's no entry here yet either. Right? There's fair value gaps, but it never gave us an entry. Bro, so let's just say you waited. This is a 5-minute chart. You waited to come back and touch this trend line. Right? So let's say you got in right here on this trend right here. Let's say you got in right there. And every time it touched the trend line, it rejected. If it would have broke above the trend line, you could have got out. But here, right here, at this point right here, trend line trade, bro. That's 13 points. That's 13 points. So that's $60, $80, $100, depending on how many contracts you're trading. So, but it didn't. It hit that trend line and it reversed. So now let's keep it going to the next point where it hit the trend line. Hold on, let me get that out of there. Right? So there's a candle close here, right? 57 points. Now you're in the trade. Now you're up 57 points. But it's not done there yet because you haven't broken above the trend line. You have not breached and closed above the trend line. So technically, we are up 140 points on this trade. Trend line trading works if you've got the discipline for it. It's all about the edge. It's about the edge. Whatever that edge is. So again, to Buddha, I say, to Josh, I say, you have to learn. You always start with the most simple of strategies. Always. Whatever that is. Trend lines and trend lines and support resistance. There are people that, bro, Josh, you see this white line here? There are people that make a shit ton of money just trading this white line. It's called VWAP, volume weighted average price. So the average price of one futures contract for MNQ right now, the average price is $25,931. Right? So the average, the most shares held right now are right here at 932. So there are people, not me. You see how it hugged this line? That means price was in agreement. Bulls and bears were in agreement. This was the right price. But then all of a sudden, CPI hit at 830. Boom, shot up. And what happened? Bulls tried to run it up because they thought it was more valuable. And bears sold that shit right back down. So now we cross below VWAP. We retest. Look at this shit. and this is, I'm telling you guys, there's a million ways to fucking trade, right? I'm sorry for the language, guys. There's a million ways to trade. So now we broke below, right? We tested VWAP here. Could have took a trade here and went up 2-to-1, right? I don't know if 2-to-1 would have got us there or not, but let's see. You could have got 1-to-1 out of that. You wouldn't have got 2-to-1. You could have got a 1-to-1 trade out of that. So if you risked $10, you would have made $10, right? But then you hit a high. Now we got a trend line forming. We come back here. We're retesting VWAP again, but it was a bearish candle, right? Guy here retested again. This is patience because it's not breaking out above previous highs. So that means it's still in a downtrend. We get here. Now we fail below VWAP. Now you're looking at a trade, right? Now you're looking at a trade to the short side. So let's say you get in here. Set your stop loss right there at the end of that, at the top of that wick. Now we're going to run this down to 2-to-1. Well, there's your trade. Based off VWAP. Based off the trend line and VWAP rejection. So if we would have took this trade, I'll even show you. We'll take one contract. Just one contract. You would have made, you risked $82 on a sound trading strategy. You risked $82 to make $164. And look, you're there, $164. You're out, you're done. Guys, in the chat, I have a question for you. How many fucking Uber rides do you have to give to make $164 today? I want to know in the chat. If you're watching, how many rides do you have to do to clear $164? You start to understand where I'm coming at with this shit. You know? But for me, and it's just for me, and I know I'm getting excited, guys. I'm sorry. For me, it took 5 years. 5 fucking years of my life to explain that to you guys just now. Because you have to be able to trust it. That is process right there. That is process right there. It took me forever. No mentors. No, you know, you do some reading here and there. You filter out all the YouTube gurus. But that is a trading process right there. And there are people out there that make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, a year trading that simple process. That's facts. Absolute fucking facts. Facts. I didn't take... Okay, so you got to do 10 hours. All right. And Tony's like, Tony, you try to make it. Nah, bro, I'm just saying. It's not. It's got... Bro, listen, I'll be out driving rideshare later because I haven't taken a trade today. I've made $0. $0 today. Right? Yesterday I went out. I was out for like 2.5 hours. I think on the clock. Let's see how many hours I spent on the clock. Only got 2 rides yesterday. But I'm real about this shit. You know I'm going to keep it honest. You know I'm going to keep it honest. You know why? Because I show my shit. I show everybody my shit. I don't never want to hear about, I don't show nobody nothing. So 3.5 hours yesterday. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. 3.5 hours yesterday to make $46.88 on the app and a $20 cash tip. Quick story about the $20 cash tip. There's a gentleman that I pick up an awful lot, right? His office is up by where my wife works. And since I'm up there, and he's always using Uber Premier about 5:30, 5:45 in that time frame. And dude, I must have driven this guy 10 times already. I'm not going to say his name, but I must have driven this guy 10 times already. Uh-oh. You see what we got coming on here, guys? See this? Remember, this is the big area. We're looking for rejection. We got a couple of bullish candles here on the 5-minute chart. Looking to break above this. We might take something going back up because now it's 10:30. We still got another half hour. Still got another half hour for my silver bullet strategy, right? We're going to break it down 1 minute chart. So now if we get a fair value gap, and it looks like one might get here. Let's get this out. We don't need that anymore. That's gone. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? What does it look like we're doing? We're looking at our candle height here. Hey, this candle here was a pretty strong candle. All right, so we got a fair value gap forming here. I'm just going to set this up just in case. And we'll take this to the low. And then we're going to run this all the way back up. I know where I want to go, which would have been this swing high right here, end of day from the other day. You guys might see me get to make a trade here. And I'm only going to do one contract. I'm willing to risk $73, right, to make 219. Let's see what happens. See how it's moving and changing? It just closed that down. No trade. No trade. That's the game, bro. That's the game. First of all, we have not closed above. We don't have a body close, a candle close above the trend line. We don't have it. Didn't have it there. Nowhere in that trend line did we close above it. So until we close a candle above it, you really can't take a trade here. Right? So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so this rider owns multi-million-dollar company. Every time he gets in the car, he's like, hey, how you doing? Doing well, sir, yourself? Very good, very good. I'm going to make a phone call. And all of his rides generally go to the same place. It's about a 20-minute ride. And, bruh, I'm not lying, bro. This guy is moving millions of dollars. I haven't quite put a finger on what exactly it is that he does. But let me tell you something. There's two things he knows how to do. He knows how to talk to people, because when he's on that phone talking to people, he's getting the best out of them. You can tell. You hear the phone conversations all the time. And he always puts it on speakerphone. Right? Gets the best out of his people, and he knows how to cut a deal. He knows how to cut a deal. So yesterday when I picked him up, he was like, Vinny, hey, how you doing? All right. I'm going to make a phone call. No problem, sir. You do your thing. So he's driving, and for the first time ever, he says to me, when he gets off the phone, he says, I'm sorry about that. And I'm like, no, it's fine. You know, you're handling your business. You're good to go. And then we started talking about some things. Nothing like specific, but we started talking about, just business practices in general. And yeah, we got into the Trump and the Fed and all of that shit with Jerome Powell and how he lied to the American public yesterday and whatever. The point being is, all right, looks like we got another opportunity here. Now look, we're closing above this trend line. This is not financial advice, guys. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing here. Nope. Look at that. Look how quickly it just shut that down. No fair value gap, no trade, bro. No fair value gap, no trade. This is discipline. You want to know how many times I would have taken that as soon as that candle closed and formed, and I'd have been down 50, $100 already? Or if I'm trading with size, if I'm trading with 5 contracts or 10 contracts, I'm down 300-400 already. We haven't lost any money today. We have not lost. We have preserved capital because our rules are our rules. Just like the video I dropped yesterday, where I let Grok decide what my 3 rules were for different blocks of time on Saturday. Bro, I wound up 6 rides and 6 hours for $268 listening to fucking Grok. Kiss my ass. If you follow the process and your rules, you'll be all right. So anyway, let's see. Time to buy. Nope. We did get that candle close, but then we were looking for a fair value gap. It started to give us one, and the fucking buyer slapped it right back down. So now, Josh, now we're in a pickle. So now we need to go up to a higher time frame. Because if we look at the higher time frame, the 5-minute time frame, that trend line's still intact. We didn't close above it. They say that the 1 minute time frame is a liar. And it's right. That's where all the chaos is. But when we go to a little bit of a higher time frame, we got nothing there. Just the way it is, brother. See how that trend line changes? Because these 4 candles here are in the wick candle here on the 5. Haven't closed yet. You should ask him at the end of the run. No, you know why? You know why I don't? Oh, well, let me finish the story. So we had the conversation, and I promise you, I forget what it was I said to him. This guy had never tipped, ever. I'm telling you, I've done this guy at least 10, 20 times. He's never tipped. He reached in his pocket. He hands me a $20 bill, crisp, like he ironed that motherfucker, like Scrooge McDuck, shining his gold coins in the cartoons. That shit was crisp. And said, Vinny, you're all right. Fuck Uber. Here's your tip. Thank you. I was like, all right, Mr. Bruce, next time. Bro, it's amazing. Amazing. See, now we got nothing going on here, guys. But what we do have is it looks like, I'll bring it over to the 15. It looks like we're forming up some support here. This would be support right now. It's holding it up. It's not breaking down further. So we might have some support here. Got to wait and see. Let's go back to the, actually, I need to be in the 1 because my strategy involves a 1 minute chart. Oh, man, I am running my mouth today. I didn't get the dirt job, but I'm running from the second job I interviewed. Just okay, all right. So everybody, hey, give a shout out to Tom. He's working his pivots, bro. You know, he's more than what you guys know him as. That's a smart son bumpkin there. Uber sends me a $38 ride. Rider cancels and sends me the same ride for $21. I hope you decline that, Buddha. That's pure manipulation, bro. Okay, here we go. It's counting Tom. I didn't get the first job. I was just notified, but I am in the running for the second job that I interviewed for yesterday. Yes, sir. Prayers up, my brother. Prayers up. Josh says you should accept and cancel Buddha. Teach him a fucking... Yeah, but Josh, Buddha, let me ask you a question, guys. Who canceled the ride? Did the rider cancel the ride? Or did the Black app cancel the ride and then send it back to you at a cheaper price? That's a whole nother discussion. Nobody wants to have that discussion. Remember, Lyft used to do that shit all the time in the beginning? You accept the ride for the pink app, and you're like, heading there, you get about 3 minutes away, boo. Lyft cancels the ride, you don't get shit. Because if Lyft found a closer rider or a closer driver to that rider and could save them a minute of wait time, we got the shaft. Oh, yeah. I remember that shit. Anyway, guys, I have not. Now, if I were being just a simple trader, we'd be riding all the way here. We would have rode this trade out. This is for Josh. We'd have got in here, and we'd have probably rode this trade out all the way to here, to the break of this candle. It's 141 points. So how much money would that have been? Well, you know what? Let's find out. All right, Josh, this one's for you, homie. So we'd have put our stop up here. Our stop would have been up here at the swing high. And we'd have rode this out to here. Right? 141 points. We'll just say one contract. So we'd have put at risk $97.50 to make $281. That is a simple trend line trade. And this is the thing about Tory, bro. Like, I don't understand. I don't know, man. Like, all the big names, bro, even some of the little bitches, and I'm going to call them little bitches. Even some of the little bitches, YouTubers. Oh, they throw in their slime remarks about Tory. Oh, yeah, trend lines. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, there was the fucking Tory trade Trend line trade right there. Perfect. Perfect trend line trade. I don't understand it. Let's see. You saw my tweets about the third party talking memes, Vinny? No, talking names. No, I don't even know what you're talking about, Buddha. We can open up a killer. Oh, shit. Buddha's trying to get me in trouble, bro. Right now, what we're going to wait on is it is 10:44. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. I'm going to stay with you till 11. And then after 11, I'm going to shut it down. I'll be done trading for the day. Well, I usually end my day about 11:15 because 11 a.m. is usually 11 a.m. is when European markets close. So sometimes you get a little bit of movement, depending on daylight savings time. So we just sit here. Da, 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 da. Y'all don't even know who that is, huh? Y'all don't even know who that song is from. 5 points. Anybody knows the song? Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. 5 points to anybody who knows that song. So let's see. So you only trade for a couple hours. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So Josh, what I'll do is I'll trade from well, I'll start looking at the market early. I'm going to do a whole video on that for this channel, for the Kuzz channel, because I got a challenge coming up I want to do. But I look at the markets. I start looking at the market 7:30 in the morning. I do my prelims. I go through all of my checklists and stuff. I use my mentor. We figure some stuff out. We go from there. Then I take VIP where she's got to go. I come back. I get back about 9 o'clock. I revisit the market. Sometimes I'll take a pre-market trade. Sometimes I won't. And then I trade up to about 11:15 a.m. Or once the silver bullet window closes, and there's 3 windows for the silver bullet. 10 to 11 a.m. is normally the window. And then I shut it down. And then I go into a bunch of other shit that I do. Video creation. Could be editing a video. Could be getting ideas together for the next video, whatever it is we're going to do there. Could be a Amazon review video, like I need to do one today on some tracks for my cabling underneath my desks. I got this hella window cleaner sitting in the car. I got to get that video done. When my computer went down, that video went down, so I gotta reshoot the video. Anyway, and then depending on the day, Monday through Thursday, if it's pouring raining outside, because South Florida, I'll open up that app. If I see the surge, bro, I'm out of here. But if not, I'll come back and I will look at the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So from 1 to 2, I'll get my shower, shave, whatever I'm going to do, so that at 2 o'clock, I'm ready to go to work. But I'll sit back down now at the 2 to 3 o'clock hour for the silver bullet, second half of the day, see if I can catch a trade like I did yesterday. Right? Yesterday, I started this eval. I didn't take a trade in the morning, took a trade in the afternoon, right? Went plus $108, first trade on this account, only trade on this eval, right? Plus 108. I haven't traded since. So that's the process. And then I'm done at 3 o'clock and I'm out of here. I'm on the road trying to get my my black app hustle on, Now, I know we said earlier about the trend line, but right now it's just kind of going sideways, right? You guys can see this. It's just going sideways. It's not doing anything. Doesn't matter if we're on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. It's just going sideways. It's not going anywhere. So there's no trade. It's chop. People like to call it chop. Buddha, you are correct. But the Smurfs is spelled with a U, not an I. God damn it. Smurfs. Smurfs. How did I know you would know the Smurfs? So anyway, that's where we're at, guys. I need a nap now. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you. 5 points for you, bro. 5 points for you. So what are we going to do here? We're going to see, we're going to crack this low. That's what we're looking for now. We're looking to see, we are above the trend line on the 1 minute, even though we're sideways. So can we dip below here, reverse, create a fair value gap, and go for the ride up north? We're not looking for a red fair value gap here. We are looking for a green fair value gap. Can we get below here, reverse, and finally take back off? Will the bull step in and go? Or are we going to come? We're going to just stay in a no trade and see if this closes the fair value gap here set from yesterday's open. I don't know. Don't nobody know. But look at that. Tory's trades would have got you a $300 trade this morning. Never underestimate the power of simplicity. I'm going to Miami. What the hell are you coming to Miami for, bro? You moving down here? Don't move down here. Don't listen to Brandon. Hey, did Brandon move out to California yet? Is he out there yet? I wonder. All right, so we have now broken low of day here. So now let's see what happens. Now, you know, some people would say there's a fair value gap. You can take it to the downside. Nope, we don't touch that. We don't touch it. Cruise Town Vinny. Oh, you taking a cruise, Buddha? You know, Kyle was out here with his family, and I tried to make my way to get to see him, but I couldn't do it. So I will try to get to see you, Buddha. But you know, if you come down here, bro, you know you get the gang's going to want to meet you. Uncle Richie, Omar, myself. Maybe I can get you and Richie Hustles to sit down at a breakfast table and split a burrito, bury the hatchet between you two banana heads. He's driving a Kia for black. Okay. One of our guys down here, Pascal, bro. Pascal just got a EV9. He loves the damn thing. He loves it. I haven't seen it yet, but he loves it. All right, guys, we got a fair value gap forming here. It's attempting to form, but every other fair value gap's gotten slapped back down. Remember that. See this right here? It's trying to form up. See what it does. I'm going to thin this one out a little bit. Okay, let's see what this does. 20 seconds. We might have a winner chicken dinner. To the swing low. We'll start at a 2-to-1. One contract. Risking 64 to make 135. We're looking for it to break down into this zone again. So let's see. We're going to take it. You know what? I'll take the trade. Even if I lose the money, I'm going to take the trade for you guys. Trade is set. It's got to come in. It's got to pop in here and reject. See what happens. Because it's going to want to close this fair value gap, close this fair value gap. Got a lot of buyers in here. Look at that. It's just missing my buy. Come on. Pop in there. You can do it. See how it's just missing? But that's right at the edge of the fair value gap. See, look at that. It looks like it's going to miss me. Buyers are there. This might take off. Might have missed the trade. Might have missed the trade, y'all, but let's see what's happening. I still think it's going to come down and pick me up and go. And then if we really wanted to ride out, if we really wanted to get nasty with it, we could take it all the way up here to end of day. So now we're looking to make $236 on a $64 investment. But it's taken off. Ain't nothing to get. It missed me. It didn't come back into the fair value gap. It missed me. And that's the other part of trading. Like you could do everything right and still not be in the trade. That's a nice inversion candle off that fair value gap. Right? Came in. Yep. This trade's gone. Done. Cancel that trade. So we missed the trade. So our initial was 2-1, right? Was that 2-1? Yeah, it was 2-1 on the initial. So let's see if it hits up in there. If it gets to the top here, remember this would have been $123. Actually, it created another fair value gap. You guys see it here? See this right here? But it's gone, man. Look at that candle. Look at that volume coming in, spiking. Look at the volume. She's gone, man. So now, if it closes this fair value gap, look at it. She's going. She's reaching for liquidity. She is now reaching for what they call liquidity. Another fair value gap forming. But notice it has not snapped back into any of them. So as the fair value gaps form, you have to constantly watch them and see if it presents a trade opportunity. Now, if it gets to here and reverses and keeps going up, you kind of know. That's the value of trading. That's the value of process. So it's 2 trades, right? I missed out on this one. Nothing I could do. I missed it by a tick. It happens. But now, well, let's see. First of all, I'm going to set this where, okay, so that would have been our first target. But now I want to set up for this fair value gap trade right here. So that if it gets above this green line, we know it was a good trade. And it's going to get there. So now, do we set up another trade right here on this one? I don't know. Normally, I don't like to come back into another trade like that. So you know what? I'm not going to do that. But look at that. It wicked out. So that initial trade, it's $125 there, guys. So now I ask you again. We just spent an hour and a half in the markets, right? 9:30, 10 o'clock. We just spent, or 11 o'clock. We just spent an hour and a half in the markets. We waited patiently. We saw the market react, come down, set the low. We saw our silver bullet set up right here, right? Wick below low a day, reversed, created a fair value gap, just missed us by a tick, and took off. How many rides are you going to have to give? Delivery, spark orders, ride share. How many rides you got to give to make that $125 in an hour and a half? At the end of the day, not for nothing, peeps, but that's what we got to think of. What can I do? Forget trading. What can I do that's going to bring me more, that I got a passion for? I just happen to have a passion for this. I think it's the greatest chess match nobody will ever win. That's what I think about trading. Like nobody will ever win the trading game. It's an unwinnable game. Point is find something else and start working on those skills. Whatever it is. Buddha likes fashion. We found out last Wednesday night. Then he needs to be working on that. When he's sitting there waiting for that ride, he needs to be working on that. So you see how this just came in here? Now this is not a trade I would take, but that trade was there. Because see, that's what we was looking for, right? The fair value gap got set. We'll take this up. Take this up 2-1. Right? Fair value gap got set. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Fair value gap set. We set our risk to reward. There it is. Right? We'd have risked $69 to make 137. It nipped that fair value gap. It nicked it, and she's off to the races. So let's see if it plays out. So that's 2 trades. As long as she keeps forming green fair value gaps along the way up, you know she ain't coming back down. That's a catering order. I have no idea. But there you go. Now, what was my expense for the trade? That's a whole nother ballgame. Because if you don't lose on whatever you lose on the trade, you lose. But it comes down to your time. Like how do you want to spend your time? How do you want to make your money? Some people love doing gig work. I get it. I'm not mad at you. But for those that don't enjoy it, that don't like getting bent over all the time, bro, you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. All right, it is 11 o'clock, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Yeah. Tomorrow night we have off the clock pod. We're going to move forward with that. I'll try to get the gang all here. Outside of that, it's 11 o'clock. Y'all be safe. Y'all be smart. Work on your pivots. Work on your skills, man. Whatever it is. Josh, you like talking about sports? Then damn it, let's start a YouTube channel and let's get you talking about sports. Tom, good luck with that interview. And then remind me tomorrow night, Tom, remind me to tell everybody the chat about our thing we're doing with our watches and our walks and stuff. Because ain't nobody going to get us healthy but us. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace. Love and happiness.